So this video has been a long time coming, and the reason for that is it's been busy. It's been very, very crazy these past couple months. The Return to Christmas Town book took way, way too long to get put out. A lot of issues with that book, so all my energy and time was spent trying to get that out. So this follow-up video to Chucky, to Megan, and Five Nights at Freddy, that's the big thing. Chucky's just kind of a side point to this. So the follow-up to Megan and Five Nights at Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy was good. Now, I gotta admit that when I was watching it, there was this little brief moment, maybe 10 minutes at the most, where I fell asleep. I do have this thing where after a few minutes of a deep sleep, then I start snoring and I scare myself awake. So I scared myself awake, missed just a few minutes, was able to quickly put everything back together. Don't think that was a reflection of the movie or if it was just me being tired. I don't know. But it wasn't hard to get back into it after just a brief few minutes. I thought it was pretty good because, like I said, it's definitely one of those movies I can relate to because growing up with Showbiz, growing up with Chuck E. Cheese after that when they had the name change, and that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to watch it. I didn't know much about it. I did have students who primarily, I was all middle schools when I taught, and found out that they liked this Five Nights at Freddy. I didn't really know a lot about it besides, like, you know, the horror aspect that they would tell me, but wasn't a lot of information that I knew about it. Just thought it would be good to watch. Now, if I have to rank these movies, it's definitely going to be Five Nights at Freddy over Megan. I definitely think that was a better movie. I just didn't see the appeal of Megan, you know, and that's the thing, is that I really need to change my attitude when it comes to these movies because, you know, teens and middle grade students are really kind of getting used to that now, or getting into, not used to, or getting, maybe it's both, getting used to and getting into the horror shock genre, you know, for movies. And I shouldn't be upset about that because I had Chucky and several other series. Now, of course, probably shouldn't have been watching, like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street series, Halloween, things like that when I was younger. But I enjoyed those movies as well. So I don't think those movies will carry over with the current generation of kids. And to be fair, some of them really don't even hold up for us either. You know, when it comes down to some of the Halloween movies were ridiculous. Some of the Friday the 13th movies, even Nightmare on Elm Street. Then the reboots. I did think the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street was great. The first zombie Halloween movie, I really enjoyed. The second one, I thought it was just ridiculous. I didn't enjoy that, and I really don't watch zombie movies that much anymore because of that. You know, it's anywho. I can go on a rant about zombies movies, but anywho, getting back to the point. So I should be happy that there's something that's come along for today's youth and something that could entertain them. You know, more so than what some of the movies that we grew up with. So that's where I need to really change my mindset, is to really focus in on how it's really appealing to today. But I got to say, Hierarchy, Five Nights at Freddy, I thought was better. I definitely will watch the sequel to Five Nights at Freddy with no hesitation. I don't think that's going to be a series that I completely hate. Megan, I will have some hesitation, some reservations with the series, but I think they're going to keep them, you know, both of them going. I don't think Megan's going to go anywhere. It's got a big following, so I think it's going to have enough to where they'll definitely do at least one sequel to it. Now, also, along the lines of Megan and the sequels, there's an internet rumor about the possibility of a matchup between Chucky and Megan. Now, my thoughts when I first saw this was all about, is this going to be the passing of the torch? Chucky has been around for, I guess almost 40 years now, at least 30 at the minimum, I believe. So Chucky, I mean, he disappeared. Even though when you think that there were no more dolls left, they brought out a TV series where they remanufactured more dolls, and so he's just going, you know. And which is crazy because they reboot a TV series, and I think I've watched the first 2 seasons. I think there's 3 in total, or maybe I've watched the first one and I just started the second one. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. But, it wasn't bad. It was entertaining. So now I guess we can say that this generation is getting introduced to Chucky as well. So I think that this could be the passing of the torch for Chucky. To be fair, the concept is a bit ridiculous. It always has been. But it's something that we had watched. And, of course, Chucky's still around all these years later. So obviously it had an impact. It's got a huge following as well. But I think it might be time that something else takes over. And I think Megan is it. Like I said, because the following for Megan is huge. So, yeah, I just got to change my mindset just a little bit. I've got to realize that it's about this generation because they're going to be the ones continuing to watch Megan in 30 years, and where I'm sure they're still going to have Megan in 30 years. But, we'll see how it pans out. I am going to say, without hesitation, I would watch a Megan and Chucky showdown. And that's just because, now I hope to goodness they don't do something like, let's join forces, that's just, don't do something like that. Like, just have them face off, see who wins. Probably going to be Megan, but that's okay. I'll still watch it. But it's going to be interesting to see where, potentially where 3 movies may go. The sequel to Five Nights at Freddy, Megan, and then this showdown between Megan and Chucky. So we'll see how all that pans out. I would like to see if I'm right or not. So overall, my mentality's got to change. I got to accept it for what it is and see where the road for this horror genre goes. So we'll see. Appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next episode on some movies. If not, just check out some of the other videos. A lot to choose from.